Mike here again. Actually, I never have gotten up yet, so I'm wearing the same shirt. I'm in the same room. I've just been doing these videos one after the other. I've just kind of been separating them just so people can maybe just watch them one at a time. People are busy. Dude, I'm busy. I know how it is. I don't want to watch. It's a lot to sit down and watch like a 20, 30-minute video of somebody talking. I'll take like 2 or 3 minutes. People say their piece in 2 or 3 minutes, be short, concise, and put out the information, and off we go. Because I'm a dad. I know how little free time people have these days. So, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna start to go ahead and get into some more serious shamanic discussions, even though I'm just discussing it with myself. But hey, comment, leave some comments below, and we can kind of have a discussion, and I can maybe answer questions. I can pose questions. Maybe people can answer them for me down in the comments below, because it's a learning process. Like, I'm just saying, I'm a novice shaman. I've only drank it 6 times. The people who inspired me to drink it have been Chris Geo at Truth Frequency Radio, now Beyond the Veil Radio, and also Frank Castle he has a show, Fearless, on Truth Frequency Radio, on the Truth Frequency Radio Network. Highly recommend them. It's actually Chris and Frank that I got to give shout outs to them, because without their inspiration, I probably would not have drank it. But I am so glad that I did. I first heard about it in a book. I have it right over here, actually. Just 1 second. Let me grab it. This is a book. This is a book I read, gosh, probably back in like 2004 or maybe 2005. Supernatural by Graham Hancock. And this is my first time I got exposed to ayahuasca. I didn't know what it was. And it's a long book. It's like almost 700 pages, but it's really cool. It just kind of, it goes over shamanism from a kind of a Westerners scientific minded standpoint, kind of trying to understand it and just trying to figure out what this is all about. There's people who are down there drinking this ayahuasca stuff. What the heck's going on down there? So it's really cool as a good intro to someone who hasn't had the drink. And then when you're curious enough to try it yourself, then you experience it, and it's a whole different ball game. But yeah, after this, I hadn't heard about it for a couple of years until I was listening a lot to Truth Frequency Radio at the time, and Frank was a guest a couple of times, and they were just describing their experiences on it, and it just really resonated with me. It was really like a call going out, and I heard it, and I was like, I want to experience something like this. It takes courage to do, because number one, it's the most awful tasting thing I can ever describe. I can't imagine something tasting worse than this drink. But you just try to boil it down, simmer it down. Don't boil it, but simmer it down into like a shot glass size, and then you drink it, and then maybe bite into an orange afterwards. It's like painful to drink, but it's so worth it. So in my 6 sessions, I've experienced more beauty than can be described. Infinite beauty. I've experienced the infinite. I've also experienced really, really difficult and challenging experiences as well. And again, that was a purification. That's what it is. And it seemed at the time, it seems like, oh man, this stuff is like, it's evil. It's like hurting me, and it's causing me all this spiritual torment, and I'm seeing demons, and I feel like one of the times I feel like I went to hell, dude. I feel like it was that bad. But I realized it was just cleaning me. Like afterwards, like a couple months afterwards, I was like, I feel so much better. I feel like it just cleaned me out of all these negative emotions and negative ideas, and just like, I didn't even realize how like that little negative voice in my head, that's not me. It's not you. When you're hearing that little negative voice in your head saying, you suck, or you thinking about your past, and like, think about the time you fucked up. You really hurt that person's feelings. You may have messed up their life. That's not you, man. That's an astral parasite. That's a negative entity. So you just get rid of all that, and you see, you communicate with entities. You see these things, and they're just like me here talking with you. What's really cool in that realm is that it's just all telepathic. Like you're hearing things in your head. It's in English, like you're thinking it in English, but it's these entities communicating to you. Now, I won't lie. Um, 99, well, actually every single entity I've seen at least has some negativity in them, because you can read them easy too. You like, you know what their intentions are. They can't like hide it from you. Try to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna help you out, bro. I'm gonna teach you like what's going on over here. But you can see through it. You can see like, man, this guy's like a freaking used car salesman. This entity, and it's not like a person. It's probably like this purple thing with like it's got like crazy things hanging out of his head or something. For me, I saw a lot of ancient Egyptian things. I saw this one of these guys, and I found out that these guys sitting on the throne, and they're at the. I found out later in a Google search that they're the same guys that are sitting on the throne at the Temple of Ramses II at Abu Simbel down in Lower Egypt. So it's just those big ass guys sitting on the throne. I saw that dude, man. I saw one of them, and he was like looking down at me and just like looking at me. He went like this. He just went, like, you're not supposed to be here. He was looking at me like I was a cockroach or something, just like some despicable thing. And he was like, what are you doing up in here in this like high realm of the gods? And that's why I floated right up to him, got right up in his face. Dude, I was about this size compared to him. Like if you look at me, I'm like, imagine me in that realm. I was like this size to him. I could like almost fit in his eye. I went up into his eye. I said, look, I looked at him. I said, you're looking at me like you're just looking down on me. I'm here to tell you, I'm not here. I'm here to tell you, I'm not any better than you, but I'm not any worse than you either. And I was just like, yeah. And so at that point, I kind of opened my eyes because I was having the vision. I opened my eyes and I had to use the restroom. So I went into the bathroom, and then I looked in the mirror. And I kind of glanced in the mirror, and I remember reading this trip report on Arrowhead of a guy who, I think it was ayahuasca, or it might have been shrooms or something. He said, whatever you do, don't look in the mirror. And that just kind of stuck with me. I was like, I probably shouldn't be looking in the mirror in this state. And I was like, screw it. Let's look in the mirror. Let's see what's going on. So I looked in the mirror, and it was so cool. I had this like translucent layer of like hieroglyphics, almost like, or like alien writing just on me. It was like weird. It was like this glowing writing and symbols like all over me, and but I could see through them. They were like white, but I could see them. They were overlaid upon me, and then the backdrop behind me just became a wall of tens of thousands of eyes just looking at me, kind of like the Tool, from the Tool artwork, or like the Alex Grey type artwork just behind me, just looking at me. And then when I looked in the mirror, I started talking, and it wasn't me talking. It was some other entity. It might have been the same entity that I saw that was looking like one of those big Egyptian statues, and he was just speaking through me. He was talking to me in the mirror to me. That's how crazy this stuff gets. And he asked me, do you have fears? And I said, I have healthy fears. I'm thinking like, yeah, do I fear like going to jump off a cliff where I die? Basically all fears are rooted in the fear of death. So he's basically kind of getting at me, did I fear death? And at that point I did. And I didn't know what else to say. I was just like, yeah, I had healthy fears. And he just kind of kept looking at me in the mirror. And I just walked out, and then I felt this force kind of slam me back up against the wall. It was almost like a partial possession. Almost. He's like, and I stood up. I said, no, this is my body. I always have 100% control on my body. You do not slam me against the wall. You do not ever touch me. Do not come near me. And I stood up for myself. And then the next time I drank it, came after me again. And now I was talking with Frank about what was going on, because this thing tried to kill me, man. I think it was the artificial intelligence. Basically what it did, because there's this artificial intelligence that's actually out there, and it's actually controlling this entire matrix that we're living in. It's an illusion. It's holographic. So it's controlling the whole thing. And Frank Frank wrote it very well to me in some private messages, that it just has us like puppets. We're its food, but the one thing that it doesn't have is right here. Heart, love, true love, unconditional, infinite, unconditional love. It doesn't get that. It doesn't have it, does not have the ability, does not compute. So that's why it's very intrigued with us. But anyway, when you start getting up to these higher realms, the AI will probably come after you. because I got right up until this point. I haven't. I'm going to describe in my next video my apex journey that I had on ayahuasca up to now. Again, just 6 times. It was the final time, the 6th time, that I made a true communion and connection with the Cosmic Mother. But so what happened was I was right up. It was like a glass wall. I was right there. I was almost connecting with the Cosmic Mother. The first 5 times I didn't brew it with the Banisterius capi, and that's the leaf part. That's the real part that you need, I think, to really make the connection with the Cosmic Mother. I didn't have that the first 5 times. That was probably it. So I got up to like a glass ceiling. I saw the Cosmic Mother. It was right there. It's infinite, unconditional love, magenta, purplish, pinkish, magenta light. It was just there. That's how she showed herself to me. But I could feel her. I was like, oh my God, this is like the Cosmic Mother, infinite, unconditional love. But I couldn't connect with her. There was this glass ceiling. And after I saw her, I got up, again, using the restroom, went back down, laid down in the other room. Yeah, it came after me, dude. It like, dude, tried to kill me. That sounds crazy. I've passed blacked out before, like drinking in my early 20s, you know, just said like, I'm just gonna drink until I black out. And that's just like so peaceful. You're just kind of like, you just go down, you black out, and you just fall asleep. Well, this is not what happened, dude. I was laying there, I was fully awake, and I could just feel these things creeping. All of a sudden my vision, all these little bugs, like I don't even know what they were. I couldn't see them, they were moving so fast. And I just got this impending feeling of doom like I've never felt before. And I just knew that, okay, this is it. I was just sweating profusely. And yeah, it tried to kill me. And where I was, where my soul, my spirit was it just was right here. It just stayed right here. I guess it's like the heart chakra, or even beyond a chakra, it's the heart center. It's just like, it was there. I didn't know my name. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know I was alive or dead, but I just was. And it was the love that I had inside me. I was just right in there in that love. And that's how I survived it. And then I slowly came to. And it tried to kill me, but it didn't kill me. So I had this like death experience. And that's kind of a hallmark experience in shamanism, is that you have this death experience, kind of this death and rebirth experience. And then I had it again later under different conditions. But that was the first time. And oh man, yeah, now I'm just starting to get like diarrhea in the mouth. I don't even know, my thoughts are disjointed. So it was ayahuasca. It made me crazy, man. Yeah, just listen to this. I'm talking, I have no logic. I'm just blabbering on. Yeah, so I'm gonna lose some people at this point. That's fine. But you know, it's the truth. So it's my experience, and I'm not afraid to share it. And in fact, you have to share it. That's part of the shamanic experience as well. You have these experiences, and a lot of people who haven't had those experiences will just think, oh man, yeah, you took some drugs, dude, and you're just, you know, you had these crazy visions, man. Like, wow, that's far out. But until they drink it themselves, they don't realize that those experiences are more real than any experience that you're having in this illusory matrix reality. It's not to say that these experiences in this reality don't matter, because they do, and they matter so much. But the only things that actually matter are when you're showing and demonstrating love. Everything else is the illusion, okay? So anything that is not love is an illusion. And I'm gonna get into more of that the next video. Signing off.